Welcome. Today, we will introduce the new Licensed Early Learning Dashboard coming to the Merit Workforce Registry this fall 2021. We will also review where you can find resources to help you navigate merit and your professional development. Let's get started. What is a dashboard? One of the things we frequently hear from individuals working in the field of early learning is, please just tell me what it is I need to do. This sounds like a simple question, but sometimes the answer can be complicated and challenging to navigate with lots of little details. The new Licensed Provider Dashboard is designed to help individuals easily answer this question. At its most simple definition, the Licensed Early Learning Dashboard is the landing page a Merit user comes to after signing into their account. It provides the user a high-level overview of their account information, and it allows the user to easily see where they are at in meeting staff qualifications for their job role. Now, it's important to note that this dashboard has been specifically designed for licensed early learning providers. Only providers with employment history in one of the job roles listed will have a dashboard. Please know that other program types like ECAP and school age will have similar tools released in our next phases of enhancements. Let's take a quick peek at what this view will look like for a brand new Merit user. After signing into their Merit account, a new user will come to this landing page. From this page, they will be able to easily apply for a unique identification number, known as a STARS number, update their professional record, and then view the qualifications for the job role listed in their Merit account. Now let's take a quick look at an example of an established Merit user. As previously mentioned, this dashboard provides a high-level overview. This is done by filtering information from the account into three main sections: My Qualifications, My Job Role, and My Applications. In just a moment, we will go in depth into the My Qualifications section. But for now, we will focus on the other two sections to make sure you are comfortable with using them. The My Job Role section displays your job role with the highest licensing requirement. It also includes a section that allows you to easily see any other job role that you may have met the qualifications for. In the example you are looking at, the provider Jennifer Smith has an active role as a family home owner. If Jennifer had more than one active job role, the dashboard will always default to the role with the highest requirements for licensing. If something is missing or incorrect, you can use the Click Here link to be taken to your professional record, where you can edit your employment information. The My Application section provides you a snapshot of your application history. By clicking the drop-down arrow, an individual can see applications that have been started but not yet submitted, applications that have been submitted for review, and completed applications. Now let's begin a review of the My Qualifications section. As you can see, the My Qualifications section of the provider dashboard includes a list of the qualifications needed for your specific role. These qualifications are displayed as individual status bars. These status bars are color-coded to allow you to see easily and quickly where you're at in meeting each requirement. Green with a check mark icon means you have met the requirement. Yellow with the clock icon means you're in progress towards meeting the requirement. Red with the exclamation mark alert icon means an action is required. And gray means that this requirement is not applicable to your role. In other words, it's not needed. By clicking on the drop-down arrow on a status bar, you are able to expand your view, to see more detailed information, or to complete an action that is required. Each night, the Merit Workforce Registry will run something called an auto-evaluation to make sure these statuses are up to date. Essentially, the system will look for any new information, like newly verified education or completed training. Now we are going to review each of these status bars so you can see how they look and how they will function. Age. This is a pretty simple one. If you have met the age requirement for your role, this status bar will be green with a check mark. If you have not met the age requirement, it will be red with an alert icon signaling an action is required. If you accidentally entered the wrong date of birth when registering for your account, you can update this information by emailing a copy of a valid ID to the Merit Workforce Registry support team at merit@dcys.wa.gov. Some roles require you to have prior experience. If you're in one of these roles and you have not yet met the experience, the status bar will be yellow for in progress. You will then have the opportunity to select how you plan to meet the requirement. You can do this by selecting the Click Here link, and a pop-up will appear. You can then use the drop-down menu to choose one of the following options. I have 2 years of experience or more. Or I have a plan in place with my employer and it's in my staff file. Or I do not have 2 years of experience or more. At any time, you have the ability to change your selection for how you have met the requirements. If you have met the hiring education requirement for your job role through verified education and merit, the status bar will be green and include the date the requirement was met. If you have not yet met the hiring education requirement, the status bar will initially appear as yellow for in progress. If you are a center director, assistant director, or program supervisor, and you have not yet met the hiring education requirement, you will have the ability to select if someone else in one of these roles within your program has met the requirement by clicking on the Click Here link, where a pop-up will appear, allowing you to indicate which staff member has met the requirement. If you have completed all pre-service requirements, the status bar will be green. It's important to note that the licensing orientation training will only appear as a requirement for center directors, assistant directors, program supervisors, and family home licensees. If a pre-service requirement has expired or has not yet been completed, the status bar will be red. The specific pre-service requirement that has expired or is not yet completed will also be red. If you have completed all training requirements for your role, the status bar will be green. The Safe Sleep training will only appear for those who work at a facility licensed for infants. If trainings are not completed within the required timeline or have expired, the status bar will be red. If a requirement is considered to be in progress due to still being within 90 days from your hire date, the status bar will be yellow. It's also important to note that if you are in a role that does not handle food and you do not require a food handler's permit, you can indicate this by selecting the Click Here link. A pop-up will appear where you can make your selection and click Save. If you have met the full education required needed for your role, the status bar will be green and include information about when the requirement was met. However, if you have not yet met the job role education, the status bar will be yellow, indicating you are in progress. It's important to note that there are various options for meeting this qualification. These options are referred to as equivalent. Depending on your job role, these can include alternative education, training, or experience. To learn more about equivalent options, please visit our professional development webpage. As you work towards this qualification, one of the things you will need to do is create a professional development plan. And one of your first steps of this plan will be to document how you plan on meeting this requirement. You will do this by selecting the Click Here link, where a pop-up will appear. You can then use the drop-down menu to make a selection for how you intend to meet the requirement. At any time, you have the ability to change your selection. Updating the selection does not impact your timeline for meeting the full education requirement. Eventually, if you do not meet the full job role education requirement within the required timeline stated in the WAC, the status bar will turn red, alerting that an action is required. And that concludes our review of the new Licensed Early Learning Dashboard. Now let's do a quick touch base on resources that are available to you. The Merit Workforce Registry webpage is a wonderful webpage to get step-by-step instructions for how to do things in Merit. This includes things like adding employment or submitting an education application. Another resource that's available is the Qualification and Role Requirement webpage. This page provides information on specific requirements for each role, as well as information about education and equivalent options and training. If at any time you have questions about how to do something in Merit, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Merit support team. We hope this information was helpful. Thank you for joining us.